with Taisha Gambrell, who is another author here today. So Taisha, tell us about your book and a little about yourself.
Okay. Well, the book is called Just Pray About It, Exposing the Well-Kept Secret in the Black Community. I am actually a mental health therapist in Tupelo, and so I wrote the book to bring awareness to mental health issues that Black women face in our community.
That's great. Do you know if there's a lot of other books that is geared toward that?
They are, but I just wanted to use my writing to be a voice to people in my community to just bring awareness to some of the issues that women face.
That's great. Just pray about it. And you are from Tupelo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Do you have a website?
I do.
Let's give us your website address.
The book can be found on Amazon or my website, TaishaGambrell.com.
Thank you, Taisha.
We're here today at Riverfest talking with some of the authors that are in the library tent. Now I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell us about their books. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sarah W. Berry, and I am an author and a publisher. And I came here today with two books, one of which I was a co-author, but I will let my co-author tell that story because it is based on her true story. It's a beautiful children's book. And the other book that I brought with me is called A Broken Mirror, and it's also based on a true story written as a novel. It's a beautiful story of redemption. And we're happy to be here. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you came out.
Yes, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the story. Give us just a small synopsis.
Okay, the small synopsis of A Broken Mirror is a story of a young girl who took a wrong road and had a little struggle getting back on the right road. But through just a beautiful story of redemption, she later went on and was able to influence another young girl who was kind of traveling in the same direction as she formerly had, and ended up adopting that young girl's baby, and then ended up adopting her. And so it is a very unique and unusual story, but a very beautiful one.
That's great. So where can people find your book?
Yes, you can find it on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. You can find it at my publishing company's site, IntegrityTime.com.
Okay, great. And so tell us the name of the book again and your name.
The name of the book is A Broken Mirror, and my name is Sarah W. Berry, and I've written a lot of different books. So if you go on Amazon, you can find more than that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Cindy with Hill Country Network, and I am in New Albany today at Riverfest. And our library, our Literacy Council, is having a book sale today, and they have a lot going on. And we have some great authors with us today, and I'm going to speak with one right now, Miss Juanita Floyd, and she is from New Albany. So tell us about your book and anything else that you would like for us to know.
Certainly. The name of the book is The Summer of 1969. It talks about how my mother guided and prepared me for integration. I was in second grade. I went to East Union. Before integration, I was at B.F. Ford Elementary in New Albany. Loved school, always have loved it, and then was thrust into an environment where it was totally different. But even with one of the things that happened to me, I was the only little black girl in the second grade. So you can imagine, the name calling and all of that. But my mother had prepared me that when I went into school, I knew my name. I knew my identity. That's what she asked me every summer. That day, every summer before school started, what is your name? My name is Cosette Juanita Gambrell. I had to repeat that every day. So when I got out on the playground at recess and people called me names, guess what I said? Oh no, that's not my name. My name is Cosette Juanita Gambrell. So my mother prepared me so that those hurts from other students, I was prepared for it. But the beauty of it, my mom always told me, you gotta love. You can't hate. Even if someone does you wrong, you still have to love. And so from that, I will tell you, those same second graders who didn't like me at first, we became best friends in high school. They honored me in high school by electing me to various offices. And so I started speaking and telling the story. And one day a gentleman in Tupelo said, why don't you write a book? And so here I am now with a book. What a blessing.
So tell me a little bit more about your background. I know you're very accomplished in things.
Well, let me tell you what, it all started years ago. My mom, I like to tell this story where my mom said, Juanita, you've got to make a difference. And I would look at her and say, Mom, how do you make a difference? My mom was a single parent. My dad had died when I was very young. And so we were poor. And I'm thinking, how do you make a difference, Mom? I was thinking that you had to do that with money, but she told me, listen, there are many, many ways that you can make a difference without having money. And so I hope that from my mom telling me that's been my life's mission, is to make a difference. And I happen to work at Create Foundation, where the founder, George McLean, who owned the local newspaper, his thing was, one of the words I read from him was, it is the responsibility of the people of Northeast Mississippi to raise the level economically, educationally, psychologically for the people of Mississippi. He said, because there's no one else who's going to come in here and do it for us. And so that's been my mantra as well. Listen, whatever we can do, the small things, the Lord's things, try our best to make a difference. And I'm thinking, I used to say to my mom, this world is so big, how can we? She said, you make a difference in your little corner of the world. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, is make a difference.
Well, I know you have, really do, because it inspired me and blessed me, your message. So I know this book is going to be great, because you're wonderful with words and you've got so much love and so much in you, and so intelligent and so great with words. And so I am glad you wrote a book.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Evelyn. I'm here talking with another one of our authors here, signing books at Tallahatchie Riverfest, Mr. R.J. Lee.
Hi. I'm glad to be here. I think this is the inaugural event, right? And I'm a Mississippi writer. I was born in Natchez. I now live in Oxford. And all my books have to do with Mississippi small town life. And I am switching genres for my publisher, Kensington. I'm starting writing mysteries now. And this will come out in January. It's called The Grand Slam Murders. It's what's called a cozy mystery, which is sort of the thing that Agatha Christie would have written, which means no blood, no gore, no graphic sexuality, but there's a mystery to be solved, and I have a young female reporter who solves the mystery of these 4 wealthy widows who are all simultaneously poisoned while playing bridge.
Oh my gosh.
How about that? Fatal bridge game. And it will be out in January. It'll be available at Square Books and Reed's Gumtree Bookstore in Tupelo. And you can pre-order it there or online at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It will be a series. My protagonist, Wendy Winchester, will be solving other mysteries, and they'll all have a connection to the game of bridge. So the subtitle of the series is A Bridge to Death Mystery. Kind of a little pun there. I hope it's not too bad.
That is great. I can't wait to read it. And so we get it at Amazon and Square Books.
Yes, you can go ahead and place an order at Square Books or Reed's Gumtree in Tupelo, and they will go ahead and order it for you. And then I will be doing signings at both Reed's and Square Books, probably around the 29th of January, the 30th, first, and it'll be in the Northeast Daily Journal. Leslie Chris will probably do a column on it because this is my debut mystery. Before, I've been writing about the small town South, and this time I'm writing about the small town South where somebody does something really bad to somebody else.
That is great. Is there a website that people can go in and look on your stuff?
Eventually there will be. Right now you can like me on Facebook. The best way to do that is like me at my real name, Robert, R-O-B-E-R-T. And my last name is spelled K-U-E-H-N-L-E, but in parenthesis it says R-J Lee. So you might just go ahead and type in RJ Lee, and you can like me that way. And I have a lot of information about the book. There's also a site called Bridge to Death Mysteries on Facebook that you can also like. Probably should have said that one first, shouldn't I?
It's okay. Thank you so much for being here today and supporting the library and talking with us here.
Oh, I'm glad to support the library. All of the money from the sale of these books goes to the Union County Library, and I'm donating all mine. I'm a big believer in libraries, and do library events all over the place.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Now I am with Miss Peggy Webb, who is a USA Today best-selling author. So we are so glad to have you here.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. I'm particularly happy to help the Union County Library.
Well, they really appreciate it.
Yes.
I know. I want you to just tell us about your books, the one that's coming out in October and the other ones that I know you've written a lot.
I have written, in a 33-year career, I've written 90 books under 3 different names. Peggy Webb, USA Today bestselling author. Elaine Hussey is my literary fiction name, and Anna Michaels is also a literary fiction name. I got my start actually because of libraries. When I was a child, my house was a stop for the Lee County Library bookmobile, and that's why I developed a love of books. And I love libraries. It was such a pleasure to come here today. I served on the Lee County Library Board of Trustees for 14 years, and I know how much libraries do struggle to get funding to have books, and it's just my pleasure to do that. For only a few of the books. This is my favorite book of all the books I've written in a 33-year career. This one by Elaine Hussey is not only my favorite, but a reader favorite. And this one, reviewers compared me to Harper Lee for this one. This book is compared to Kill a Mockingbird, and I would say is the pinnacle of my career. I love that book. The Language of Silence, one of my publishers is Simon & Schuster. I often tackle subjects that are dear to my heart and that I want to highlight for readers. So I tackle spousal abuse in The Language of Silence and also The Oleander Sisters by Elaine Hussey. So I'm pleased to be able to do that and not only just write for pleasure, but write to say something to readers, to highlight a problem in our society.
That's wonderful that you take that angle as well.
Yes, I do. This, All the Lies, is the 3rd book of a breakdown suspense series that I wrote with 3 of my best friends in the writing business. This was a massive an epic whodunit, I think, because we wrote all 4 books in tandem. Deborah wrote her book, Deborah Webb, my friend who is a thriller writer in Birmingham. Vicki Hinsey, another USA Today bestselling author in Florida, and Reagan Black, another USA Today bestselling author in South Carolina. So we brainstormed and came up with the idea of a wonderful whodunit, one murder, all 4 women writing about the same town, the same cast of characters solving the murder. So if you go on to my website, peggywebb.com, you will read everything about the breakdown novels, the video. The first breakdown novel is actually coming out next Thursday, October 4th, next Thursday. And then subsequently, every Thursday, one of the books will come out, so you can get all 4 of the breakdown books in October. They'll be available in paperback and digital, but peggywebb.com is where you would find everything about it.
That is wonderful. I bet that was a lot of fun to get together with the other ladies and...
Well, it was tremendous fun. We often get together at conferences, and so that was a lovely way to sit down together and start the brainstorming session. But then when we went into 4 different states, it became much harder to just talk on the telephone and keep that energy very high. Deborah Webb, my friend, no relation by the way, but we love each other like sisters and have known each other 26 years. But Deborah was the one who called us all and said, now, ladies, she also says, ladies, it's time to get started, ladies. So we geared up. She can spit out a plot just as easily as anything in the world. She basically got that plot going, and then she called Vicki Hinsey, who lives in Florida, who is detailed to the max. So between those two, all of us ended up with a story Bible that had a basic overall plot view, 2 or 3 paragraphs about each of the 4 books. We had a complete character list. Vicki put photographs in there. In case I didn't know what my own character looked like, Vicki told me. Vicki drew a map of the town for the books, and we all had those maps. It was amazing. I wrote the 3rd book. We wrote them in tandem so we wouldn't have any conflicting information, because we all had that set of characters. And because we are writers all with long careers, between about 300 novels we've written among the 4 of us. So, and Deb and I are responsible for more than 200 of those novels. But anyway, I came to my book and I said, wait a minute, this town has no church. And I called Vicki and I said, put a church in there. And then I said, oh my goodness, this town has no hotel. And so I said, put a hotel in there. But the main thing that I put in there was a concert hall, because piano and singing, if I had bigger hands, I might have opted to study piano. I'm quite a musician and love it, love it. That's a thread you will see throughout my books, blues and the motif of that. In fact, for The Sweetest Hallelujah, I actually created a character who played a blues harp. My son does that quite well. And when I wanted to put blues lyrics in the book, I knew that I would have a difficult time getting permission to put someone else's blues lyrics. It's a process. So I just wrote my own. So and I had such fun. I only needed 1 or 2, and I had such fun, I just kept writing. Just kept writing blues lyrics. So that's
when you release your CD, you'll have to let us know.
Oh my goodness! I don't know if we'll be doing that, but my son Trey Webb and I did do a performance at First Methodist Church last Sunday in Tupelo. He played harmonica and I played a wonderful gospel blues version of Amazing Grace.
Oh my goodness!
So what fun we had! Had a great time with it. Yes.
Listen, thank you so much. It has been great talking to you.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
Well,
My
good,
pleasure.
good.
Invite me back.
Oh, if I have anything to do with it, you will. be back.
Good. And
I'm
I
the person to talk to about that.
do support the library, Union
absolutely.
County.
I am now with Joe Ed Morris, and he is a great author, and he has a lot to do with our library here in Union County. And so I'm going to let him tell you some of the things that he does, and let him take it away.
Okay. Well, I was born in New Albany. I grew up here. My wife and I live in Tupelo now, but she's from Ingomar. But our hearts are here, and we're very much involved in the library and the world of books and what the world of books can mean to people, the doors they can open. And so we encourage everyone to visit the Union County Library and to also make contributions to it. We would encourage you, if you're not a friend of the library, to join. It's only $20 a year, and you get marvelous benefits from the world of books with that contribution. We're here today because of the library. This is the first time the Union County Library has been represented at the Riverfest, and we're really proud, not just for having the 2 booths here today, but we also had an epic book sale, and it's still going on now down at the library as I speak, and we are just stunned by the success that we're getting from that book sale. It tells you that people in Union County love books, and we hope that to repeat it next year.
That's phenomenal. We're so glad that you do what you do for the library here.
Thank you.
Tell us about your writing, your books, and all about what type of books you have.
Okay.
And so fill
Well,
us in.
I've been writing for about 40 years. I may be the most unaccomplished the most unaccomplished published author that you have met, because I've written 17 novels and only 3 have been published. And one of them is coming out in February, called The Prison. And I've written a number of short stories. I've written some theological works. Perhaps the best known is 10 Things I Wish Jesus Hadn't Said. And I continue writing, even though I get a lot of rejection slips, because I enjoy the thrill of writing a good sentence.
I love that. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
So
I love that.
thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for talking with us. And I want to say another word. He's written a lot of books, but I was telling him that I liked books with strong women in it. He had one for me. So check out his books. And do you sell any online, or how would they get in touch with you? Or
Well, they could get in touch with me. I have a website, joeddmorris.com. That's joeeddmorris.com. And all of my books are available on Amazon.
Okay, good.
So.
Good to know. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us and for doing what you do for the library, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy.
You're very welcome.
Cindy.